You can get to this stage in your life where you get stuck, confused about the meaning of your life, with these increasing doubts about who you are, what you're called to be, and how you identify. Well, this is identity crisis. And beware, because most often you don't even know that you're going through it. Today, we are gathered here with Poimano to discuss identity crisis among young people.
Right.
First off, I think there is a need to set a line between long-term goals and immediate desires.
Right. When we talk about purpose, most of the time we are considering direction.
Right.
And what we call to do in life.
Right.
But desire is something different. It's what you aspire to, something that you're really longing for.
Right.
So
desire and purpose.
Yeah, desire and purpose. So purpose refers to what you call to be.
Right.
Yes.
And desire is something
that you're just attracted to.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it has to do with how you feel about things.
That's right.
What you perceive with your senses.
Yes.
Humanly desires, pulsions, and so on and so forth.
Something like that.
But what makes your purpose?
Your purpose is your calling.
Right.
Something that defines you.
Right.
Something that you identify yourself.
Right.
In the things that you really want to do in life.
Right.
That's your purpose.
Right.
Something that you fit in.
Right.
You something where you get the inspiration
right.
from. That's the purpose. But the desire, in the long run, is not really something that is sustainable.
Matter of factly, we all have these urges. Now, tell me a bit about some of your personal strategies for balancing immediate gratification with long-term aspirations.
Right. I think when it comes to identity crisis, it's addressed in various ways. It could be societal expectation, background, and also beliefs. Something that I did that was really important for me is to do something that I truly wanted to do. Something had a burning desire for.
Right.
That's something that was really in my heart. Something that I was trying to achieve. That's how I knew this is something I wanted to do.
Right.
So my advice for this one is that, look closely into something that you really want to do. And a lot of time people are so influenced by others, comparing themselves to others, which is a barrier into something that, it really hinders the value.
Right.
And it triggers a lot of insecurities in them, and they're dealing with that. Right. So my advice for them is to embrace who you are. Do not compromise for absolutely nothing.
You've made a fair point on influence. As of today, with social media and the lack of role models, young people are vulnerable to any type of negative influence.
Right.
We have influencers showcasing a certain lifestyle that they do not deserve. You don't know how they even managed to get to this point. We have people with limited values and who perceive the sense of life as one's capacity to acquire material things.
Yeah.
And they believe that's it. And when you're not well oriented and you are raised in a certain environment that doesn't teach you what the ultimate goal of life is and so many things, you will easily consider material things as a man, for example, as what makes you a respected individual in the society.
Definitely.
And when you don't get it, you get lost and you start underestimating yourself. So let's talk a bit about social media.
One thing I noticed about the youth nowadays, they have easy access to information, but they don't know what knowledge is.
Right.
You can have access to information, but knowledge takes time.
Right.
And it's something that you really have to sharpen. Nowadays, you can just take your phone, type something, okay, I just found this. But for you to to grasp it in you, you have to sit down and study. That's what the knowledge is really important. So and it's the same thing when it comes to identity crisis. You got to sit down and analyze the things that you're really attracted to. You really gravitate into. That's where it's really important. So I mean, knowledge is weapon.
Exactly.
Knowledge is a weapon. That's something that you really have to take in your heart.
And with all the pressure they get, I can tell they definitely need quality guidance. So what's the place of mentor guidance in a young person's life? Because these are, to me, the most vulnerables to identity crisis. And that's the stage of life where this issue must be solved ASAP. Otherwise, it's going to ruin the rest of their lives. And that's when you build yourself. And, we're talking about identity crisis. Identity is all about who you are and what you can do. Your awareness of who you are, your self-awareness, is directly connected to your ability to do things. It all starts with self-confidence. So how can you get a drive, an external drive in this journey?
One thing about me, I'm gonna use my personal experience. While my dad and my mom got separated when I was a little boy. So at the end of the day, I was really exposed to myself, doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing. But one thing that really kept me going is believing in the things that I really wanted for myself. And you can tell me nothing about it because I knew this is what I wanted to do. And ain't nobody's gonna believe in your dream for yourself. You have to believe in your dream to the point where you force others to accept the fact that this is the choice I made for my life. And the role of mentorship, it's really important. But young people also have to grab the fact that, okay, this is my life. This is my future. Ain't nobody's gonna do this for me. I really have to embrace this and not escape the challenges, not take any shortcut in order to avoid it, but it's something that I really gotta deal with it. So this is how I picture this.
Well, I think it's a mental battle that many people go through at this stage of life. And there is room for spiritual awareness and strength, I believe. This is another aspect of your life that I want you to talk a little bit about as well. How your spiritual guidance helped you navigate through this. That's something you've experienced, identity crisis.
I think first of all, it's really important to seek God's guidance. You really have to spend time in prayer. You really have to strive for God's power in your life. And secondly, I think also you really have to dive into scriptures. Meditation, let the word of God sink in you. And thirdly, also, it's really important to surround yourself with people who believe in you. Because one thing that really triggers identity crisis is people who don't believe in you. You can be successful. You can find yourself among people who don't believe in you. And it's really important to have a community that supports you. And I think lastly, you really have to trust God's plan, because it's really important to trust His plan. It's really important to believe that God has your best interest. It's really important to believe that He will do it for you and you'll be all right. So this is what I can say about this.
And when we talk about purpose, I want us to wrap up with this one. What is the godly dimension of a human's purpose? You talked about calling as well, which is an interesting concept. Where's the place of God in that?
Well, it has to do with obedience. Just be obedience to the things that God has called you to do. Do not struggle with it. Let it flow. Be available. Embrace the things of God. And you be straight. It's true that you go through crises, you go through trials, but be willing to accept it. You know, surround everything to God, and you'll be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that life is indeed a duality. There are invisible forces controlling the visible things. And when you seek the real and hidden truth, you will surely and gracefully have an encounter with God, the Creator, the one behind everything. That's the best I wish you at this stage of the year, New Year. Thank you guys for watching, and see you then. Bye for now.